time to do that. Entire roof sections that look like this. Not just 2 or 3 shingles, but 6 and 8 foot wide areas in a field of shingles. So using those statistics and using the photographs, it would be very easy to determine if you should do these 4 buildings first and then 4 more buildings later. Carrie did reference that. There is a potential for you to find a contractor who's willing to cooperate with you and do the buildings over a period of a year to give you as owners time to pay for the project. So that is an option that council has. You do have that option because some buildings are in really bad shape and others are in bad shape. You don't really have the option in terms of insurance coverage. That's a whole different ballgame, because now that you know your roofs are in really bad shape, if you choose not to re-roof immediately, the insurance provider may take that as an option or an opportunity not to cover any subsequent damage that occurs. So you do also have to think about that. You don't have to replace all of your gutters. Most of the gutters are in good shape. You do have to do things. You have to put extenders on your downspouts so they don't dump onto lower roofs. And you can see from the amount of debris on your roofs that you should probably put leaf guards on in some locations, not all. The design of your roofs actually funnels all of the leaf debris down into isolated sections of gutter. So if you put leaf guards on those sections of gutters, just 10 foot lengths, all of the leaf debris will just go right out onto the ground. So you can do things like that to save yourself the expense of replacing your gutters. And the other thing that we've done, and we'll just cut right to the chase, is we've started looking at a number of contractors across the spectrum to reduce the cost of the project. That's obviously the #1 goal. So, and this is also why I think the project management perspective of your roof replacement project is important. And that's also experience that I have as a former contractor. Because I know that when you give pricing, you can approach it from many different perspectives, and the contractor's perspective is generally to make a healthy profit margin. And in the roofing industry, I've come to see there are some very healthy profit margins. It's almost built into the roofing industry. I think the reason for that is because most people don't know a lot about roofing. Most people don't go onto their own roofs and look at the condition of the roof, or even go onto the roof when it's being re-roofed. So it's very easy for a roofing contractor, especially if he knows he's the only guy who's been called to give a price that has a very healthy profit margin. Why wouldn't he? That's good business. That's exactly what he should do. So we defeat that by inviting a large number of contractors to give a price. And we are quite open with them. We tell them, you're competing with 8 other contractors. And so then they know that they maybe, if they want the work, they can't just go for the healthy profit margin, although some will. They have to sharpen their pencils and bring in a reasonable price that they also know from experience will get them the job. Because contractors do know what price will get them the job. They know what their competitors are going to price. And so as you look at the contractor comparison table, the reason that we do that table is to make sense of the individual quotes that we get from contractors. At the very preliminary stage, we're looking for price. That's important. But we're also looking at the systems that the contractors will provide. And this goes to another aspect of how I would help assist council and owners in making the decision about what system to use. The roofing manufacturers have been doing this for a long time, and they've come up with some pretty good systems, each very specialized. Across the industry, they're more or less the same, but each manufacturer has its own specialized system. their own product, and they use engineers and scientists and lawyers and warranty people experiencing warranty issues, statisticians, to determine how to put their product on the market and how to warranty it. And the warranty issues are very relevant when it comes time for a large strata to spend lots of money on a roof system. Some contractors are happy offering a 15-year warranty, but it's not non-prorated. Other contractors and manufacturers have really good roof systems and they've developed really good products, and they're now comfortable offering 20-year warranties that are non-prorated. And there's a big difference between the two, because on a 15-year warranty that isn't prorated, or that is prorated rather, you start paying right away as soon as it's repaired. So 5 years in, you're on the hook for a third of the cost of replacement on a 15-year warranty. If you choose a contractor that has a 20-year non-prorated warranty, you're good for 20 years, no cost to you. So that's a fairly significant dollar value that you're looking at when you consider a roof system. If you accept that a roof system potentially will only last 20 years anyways, wouldn't you rather get a roof system that isn't going to cost you anything if it fails during that first 20 years? And that's why you have to look at what the manufacturers are offering. Now, why the manufacturers? Because it's the contractors who are installing the shingles. Shouldn't we be looking at the contractors? And I've found that you shouldn't, because the industry has gone to warranty manufacturers from the manufacturers, not from the contractors. So since they've decided to warranty products based on the manufacturer, it only makes sense that that's the warranty that you should look at, not the contractors. It also makes sense from another perspective. The contractor may or may not be around in 5, 10, 15 years when you need a warranty issue resolved. The manufacturer very likely will be. So when you safeguard your investment with the manufacturer's warranty, it doesn't even really matter if the contractor is still around in 10 years when you need somebody to fix your roof. The manufacturer will find another contractor and put them in place and fix the roof because you have that warranty. Now, I have to tell you, I've been standing on roofs and watching roofs be installed, especially recently in the last 4 years. The fiberglass laminate shingle that they're putting on now will probably last much longer than 20 years. I've inspected a lot of roofs that just have asphalt shingles. The old asphalt shingle was made by mixing it with paper. And those shingles only really last about 20 years. And when you look at an old shingle, it's called a organic shingle, that's mixed with paper, you can see why it breaks down. After the grit wears off, and it's exposed to acid and to rain and to the sun's energy, there's the destructive sun again, the paper curls and cracks and splits and the shingle is gone. And I've been on projects recently even where the shingles had holes everywhere after 20 years. I wouldn't expect that to happen with the new shingles that the manufacturers have put on the market for some time now, and that's because there's no paper in them. They're all synthetic. They have fiberglass screening holding the asphalt together, and the asphalt is a better product. It's no longer a bitumen-based product. It's more, there's more oils in it, more asphalt, so it's a tougher shingle. This is why the manufacturers are quite comfortable offering what they call lifetime warranties, 40-year warranties, which is what you get now, the first 20 years of which are non-prorated. So you could reasonably expect this roof system to last as long as 40 years, but only the first 20 years would be free to you in terms of servicing under warranty provisions. After that, you would begin to pay a percentage of repairs. But it's worth considering that at least you're going to get a shingle that is going to last a full 20 years or longer. So your council and property management company will look at those facts. We may get more numbers, but we'll certainly look at those key facts. What's the warranty that the manufacturer is providing? And what is the type of product? and how mainstream is that product, and finally, what is the price point? And then there are other smaller considerations, how quickly can it be installed, and obviously, what is the reputation of the contractor? So those are the main issues when it comes to looking at roof replacement systems. And does anybody have any questions about that aspect? If you have a question, or if you think of one, just stick your hand up. Oh.
Can you just come up, Jeff? We need it on the microphone. That's as hard as it goes.
That's as
Just
far
turn
as
it
it
off.
goes.
I'll speak loud.
Pull Jennifer.
On CKNW radio, they've been advertising a rubber shingle and it's lifetime warranty. Do you know anything about that, and how does that compare with anything with asphalt?
I do know about rubber shingles. They're not mainstream. I personally have a distrust of a product that hasn't been proven out in reality, sitting on a roof for 20 or 30 years. So I would recommend against it on that basis alone, because I know the laboratory testing for durability and longevity is one thing, but the sun's energy after 20 years is a completely different thing. I know that one thing that you can't replicate in the laboratory is the action of a shingle that's moving over a long period of time under the sun's energy. So whether it's a rubberized product or an asphalt product, it distorts under the sun's heat and sags, and gravity acts on it to pull it down, and then at night it cools and shrinks back up again. So you have 365 days a year of different amounts of shrinkage, expansion, and contraction, and you can't replicate that condition in the laboratory. Multiply that times 20 years, and really it's very easy to see that the sun's effect on a product is going to be vastly different than what they can subject it to in a laboratory. So I think the test then becomes how long has the product been out in reality on a roof system, and how is it performed under those conditions. So for that very reason, for example, we know that a tar and gravel roof is a pretty good roof system. It actually will last 20 years. Put more gravel on it, and you might get a few more years yet. An SBS roof, which is a torch down roof, two-ply torch down roof, and you'll see that there are a lot of those quoted. That's the second generation of roof system that came into existence because it could be transported up onto the roof in a roll and rolled out and applied. So it made sense to contractors to be able to do that. But I know that those roofs don't stand up as well to the sun's energy because I've inspected them. And the rippling effect that takes place on those roofs causes them to crack and deteriorate more than I think even the original manufacturers thought they would. So you really only get 15 years on that roof. And the warranty is
Put gravel on it.
if you put gravel on it, yeah, you get more life, for sure. The UV grit, the cap sheet on an SBS system is there just to protect it from the sun's energy. And so you want as thick a cap sheet as you can get for your dollar. They range in thickness from 180 to 230 mil, or thousandths of an inch. And thicker with more granules on the surface will give you more longevity, but it comes down to application. And I would also point out, it's a fairly relevant factor, a roll down, torch down roof system has a seam every 3 feet across the entire roof, and then it has end seams every 20 feet. So you can't get away from that. And those seams will open up over a period of time, especially because of the rippling effect and the sun's energy. And they even have an industry term for that. It's called a fish mouth, where the seam lifts off the sheet below it and allows water to go in through the opening. They call that a fish mouth, and that's a known condition for an SBS roof. So the manufacturers know all that, and that's why they will only give you a 15-year warranty on an SBS roof.
Arby, can you use the mic, please? Sure.
feedback. The roof that you're putting on, it sounds like it's going to be a sort of a duroid of some sort, is that correct?
Similar to.
Okay. If you put the same roof on that we have here now, I know you can't get exactly the same product out there, but if you put the same roof on, what would the price be? Would it be more or would it be less than what you're getting out there now?
It would be twice as much.
Twice as much.
A cedar roof now will cost approximately $10 to $12 a square foot. And the roof that we're putting on, the fiberglass laminate shingle, will cost approximately $5 or $6 a square foot.
And the roof we're putting on now, are there some extra steps that we have to do, like put plywood the whole roof?
And that's all considered in that cost.